it kind of snuck up on me a little quicker than some people it happens to.
A life-challenging situation for a Treasure Valley man, a diagnosis he wants to spare other men from getting. Reginald Epp, everybody knows him as Reg, has spent more than 30 years helping save lives in some of the most remote parts of the world. And now at home, he hopes to make the most of the life he has left.
It starts with a simple message to all men: get screened for prostate cancer. KTVB's Doug Petcash has his story.
It's a 1984 model.
In this hangar at the Nampa airport, Reginald Epp,
Most people call me Reg.
is rehabbing this Cessna for Mission Aviation Fellowship.
There was some cracks that developed, so we put this reinforcement in there.
Reg has worked for Mission Aviation Fellowship as a pilot mechanic since 1985.
You know, alleviating suffering in different ways, medically and sometimes with famine.
In places around the world, including Botswana, Africa, he's flown supplies to missionaries, doctors to remote villages, and patients out of remote villages to hospitals. He's helped save a lot of lives.
If I go back through my logbooks, I can find, you know, this woman had, labor complications, or this guy was gored by a buffalo or something like that.
His most recent assignment was in Indonesia. He came back home for a visit last summer and had his yearly screening for prostate cancer. That led to a cancer diagnosis and the removal of his prostate.
Unfortunately, later on, we found it had moved into my pelvis.
He says the prognosis isn't good.
I don't ask a lot of questions, but I do a little reading. And the prognosis is about 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there.
Because of this, he has a straightforward message.
You know, I would just encourage any man to just get checked. You know, as often as you can, even, I don't know, maybe even more than once a year.
Reg's doctor at Idaho Urologic Institute is John Greer. He says Reg did everything right by getting a yearly exam.
Unfortunately, prostate cancer really can be quite aggressive.
But Dr. Greer says, unlike Reg, many men haven't been getting screened since recommendations from the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force came out several years ago. The task force found that the PSA blood test screenings often give false positives, leading to unnecessary follow-up tests and potential complications. However, Dr. Greer believes the benefits outweigh the risks.
We are definitely have seen an increase in the number of men that are diagnosed with later stage disease that's more advanced.
Dr. Greer recommends that men 50 to 55 start getting both the PSA blood test and the physical prostate exam every year.
It's not a big evaluation, and if we do that, we can catch prostate cancer really quite early, and the chance of death if prostate cancer is caught very early is very, very low.
Reg Epp is pushing forward. He found a network of support through Idaho to Fly. It's a nonprofit that provides a free weekend of fly fishing and fellowship to men fighting cancer.
This was like, wow, all these guys were in the same sort of deal. And when we left, we were like kind of like a little family.
He also recently rode his motorcycle in the Blue Ribbon Rally Prostate Cancer Awareness Ride, determined to drive home his message to men: get screened.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Just get over it.
In Nampa, Doug Petcash, Idaho's News Channel 7.
There you go. That is the message: get screened. And September, by the way, is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in men. I didn't realize that, Dee, the second leading cause.
Wow, and I'll tell you, I know Reg. He is a wonderful man. I didn't know, and I'm so glad that he's sharing his story so that other men, like, you know, our husbands and people that we care about, we can pass that along. As you did hear in that story, Dr. Greer recommends that men start getting screened for prostate cancer in their early 50s. And if you have a history or maybe a family history or are of African American descent, earlier screening is a good idea.